And hello there, good evening, folks. Sorry for the late start. Nothing else today has gone how I expected it to, so why the fuck with this? It's just been one of those days for me. Welcome Aleph, welcome Odd. The truly Aleph, the most cursed message of all. Y'all are in for a treat today. Marvus's route is a doozy. And just because I always forget to do this till last minute. But I'm just gonna guess today that y'all want to do Marvus first. Let me see. Where did I put my window? Oh my god, I have so many tabs open. I should close a bunch of those probably. Okay, I'm gonna babble a little bit while I bookmark and close all of these tabs because wow, there's a lot of them. So today has been a day. And this evening we are doing Marvus and Fozzer. And okay, yeah, Marvus first. Okay. So, I will not give any spoilers, but I will say Marvus's route is longer than usual. Fozzer's route is shorter than usual. So, rather than taking the break at the end of one route like I normally do, I'm going to take 5 after we do the first complete ending of Marvus's route. Because his is... What the fuck am I looking at? Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, I just got really confused by one of the tabs that I had open. Yeah, these are all tabs that I had open for my Sims modeling competition. I got like 50 fucking tabs of like different custom content pieces. Trying to do a fucking glam rock editorial. Jesus Christ. You wonder why. Yeah, Marvus's route is a doozy, that's for sure. Those of you who have played it already will be very familiar with this. Those of you who have not and who have avoided spoilers, I think you are in for a real treat. I definitely think you are in for a real treat. I'm so sorry. I'm almost done bookmarking all of these fucking tabs. And then once I close this window, I just don't want this window to be like taking up RAM and potentially causing stream to lag if it doesn't have the resources it needs. Okay, done. Okay, so Sneak Cat, welcome. How's the competition going? Good. I actually came in second place in the last round. Ayo. So that was the high fashion makeup round. So you know, that was pretty fucking exciting because I normally don't place very high because I'm competing against a lot of people who have much more Photoshop experience than I do. But yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. You are going to eat a shit ton of pickles. Fucking go for it. Alright, so I just wanted to, didn't want to forget to talk about this. So, Friendsim Volume 17 will be out a week later than normal because of US Thanksgiving. They're taking the week off for US Thanksgiving, and putting out, so that means that the last Friendsim will actually not come out on December what the fuck calendar am I looking at? No, this is fine. It won't come out on December 7th as expected. It will come out on December 14th. So like halfway into the month. Steam health is good? Yay! For fucking once. Okay, I'll just copy that and shit. I forgot. Oh my god. There's just a lot of shit happening today. The cornucopia. I know. Oh my god. Honestly, James fucking Roach is just like a blessed person. There. I just needed to remember to add that to the list document of volume 16 links for the YouTube video. Speaking of the YouTube video, while I get the game set up, I will explain a little bit about YouTube. I'm not putting through like a major change or anything, but while I was editing volume 15. So volume 15, there was an issue with Twitch where it didn't fucking encode, it did not encode the video properly, so when I downloaded it off of Twitch, it had no fucking visuals. It was just the sound, and I was really pissed off. So I had to re-record a bunch of visuals, which forced me to become acquainted with the record feature of OBS. So I currently have OBS streaming and simultaneously recording, which I haven't really played around with before, but I'm thinking that it should drastically improve the quality of the YouTube videos, because I hadn't really realized for the most part just how laggy and jumpy the frame rate on those videos was. Because I'm not going to watch 2 hours of footage over every time I have to upload a video. So I hadn't realized that it was so shit. But this, I think, should fix the issue if I have my own raw footage on the computer. And yeah, so I'm thinking that should be good. Anyway, game capture mode decided to magically work for us this time, so like I'm really happy about that. When I went to record the rest of that footage, it wasn't fucking working. I had to use fucking full display capture mode to capture the rest of the footage, and that was a piss off. Okay. Are you ready? Volume 16 of Cult and Captivation. You crash-landed on Alternia 16 long episodes ago, and sometimes you feel like you've been here forever. This is even more meta than we've ever seen MSPA Reader before. Episodes? Now MSPA Reader speaking in episodes instead of even sweeps. You've had many adventures and met many Alternians, some/all/none of whom have become your friends. Again, more meta bullshit, making up for all the alternate timelines. But now, for some reason, you have a hunch that you're near the end of your Alternian travels. For one thing, you seem to be coming to the edge of the populated region you've been walking through all the time you've been here. For another, the intense craving that has animated you throughout your journey feels like it might be waning. It's not quite gone, but like a diner who's stuffed himself to bursting, but is still seeking that last sweet morsel that will make his meal complete. You're still on the prowl for the very sweetest morsel of friendship. Okay. Fozzer first? Okay. I think... Did Aleph say anything about which one first? Because I think Odd, you said Marvus, right? And then Aleph did not specify. So we have one for Marvus and one for Fozzer. If Aleph doesn't specify, I'm doing a coin flip. Yes, okay, yes, that is what I was going to say. Fozzer. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait a little longer due to popular demand for Fozzer. So I guess I'll switch up my plans. So I'll do Fozzer, and then Marvus's is Fozzer's is shorter than usual, so we'll work up to I'll just see how the timing goes, because I know that I'm gonna have to jump right into Marvus and then figure out where to pause. But without further ado, Fozzer Velius. Ooh, where do my earbuds go? Does the music start? I think this one, it depends on the route. Some of them start when the character is introduced, and some of them the music is playing from the very beginning. Yeah, see, this one has started already, the music. It's so beautiful and haunting. This was apparently, James Roach had stated on his Tumblr that, let me find that post. Yes, this is literally the first track I wrote for the game, referring to Hiveswap Act 1. This piano motif melody had been something I was kicking around back in like 2012 as a song for Rose, I think. When Andrew originally talked to Toby and I, he gave us very specific marching orders about what songs to write. It was 2 songs, A Haunted Mansion and A Subway Full of Juggalos. I mentioned before we went through a handful of Haunted Mansion ideas for Harla House that were too spooky and not campy enough. This was one of those spooky takes. We ended up using this theme for something of more significance. So, I think he might have actually been referring to the Friendsim when he said first track I wrote for the game. I think I got a little mixed up there. But yeah, so this, A Subway Full of Juggalos. Yes, Sneak Cat, A Subway Full of Juggalos. Y'all will hear, okay, Marvus's song, and I will tell you what it is titled when we get to it. But yeah, so that's the story behind this one. It was originally for Rose, then it was adapted to possibly be in the Hiveswap Act 1 soundtrack, and then finally it reached its final destination as the haunting soundtrack to one Fozzer Velius in the Friendsim. Am I missing something? No. Okay. So the title of the track is Graveyard Shift. And now, I'm gonna actually start fucking reading. The night has turned foggy, and you can't see far in any direction, but you seem to be surrounded on every side by bare ground, hummocked and pitted almost like a weird abstract sculpture and covered in greenish moss. Based on the experiences you've had with Alternian flora, you imagine the moss is probably poisonous, acidic, explosive, or something of that nature. Suddenly, a shadow looms up out of the darkness, making you jump. But it's only a leaning signpost. As you move closer, you can see that the sign says, "Welcome to Happy Absence Pit Park." Before you can figure out what that might be, you hear a voice muttering to itself in the fog, and a sound like dirt being shoveled. Shovel, shovel, toil and trouble. Low bloods of the world unite! You move cautiously towards the voice until the figure of a troll emerges from the fog. He seems to be digging into the hard, bare ground. There is a tide in the affairs of trolls, which, taken at the flood, leads on to the workers' paradise. You clear your throat, and the troll turns swiftly. Who's there? Who's there, I say? What the fuck accent am I doing? You announce soothingly that you're just a poor wayfaring stranger. Not a ghost or any nonsense like that? You confirm that you are not. Good, because I don't believe in them. I'm a dialectical materialist. Well, if you're not a ghost, who are you? I really wish I had looked up a definition of dialectical materialist. I'm going to actually quickly do that right now. Because I feel like that's a really interesting and important part of Fozzer's root is kind of a rough understanding of what dialectical materialism is. But I cannot get a definition off the top of my head. Okay, so here's what Google says. The Marxist theory, adapted as the official philosophy of the Soviet communists, that political and historical events result from the conflict of social forces and are interpretable as a series of contradictions and their solutions. The conflict is believed to be caused by material needs. So basically, let me try and summarize that. I am not well versed in communist theory. But to the best of my ability, it's basically saying that all political and historical events result from social conflicts based on material needs. Yes. Yes, communist troll, not Shakespearean. This is... We getting deep communist with this guy. You explained that you're a humble alien who recently, well, not so recently, landed, or crashed, on Alternia, and who's been looking ever since for... I hear you blushingly trail off into a mumble. The troll snorts and comes close to study you. His breath is not of the freshest. An alien? Well, you are the color of cheese, but it could be makeup. You could be a high-blood in disguise come to watch poor little Fozzer Velez pursuing his humble profession of pit perturber for some unknown reason of your own. Fozzer rubs at the exposed skin of your arm to see if the makeup will come off. It doesn't, but he's still suspicious. Aw, shit. Is stream crapping out? Y'all, I swear on my fucking life, if stream is crapping out. I can't see, oh shit, that reminds me, I forgot to actually open up Twitch in a tab of the computer I'm streaming on. Yeah, OBS is not looking fantastic, in terms of its own internal thing. I don't know what the fuck the issue has been for this last month. Like, I have had so many perfect streams, and it's just been garbage lately. Okay. A real alien would know what outer space is like. Describe outer space to me. You describe attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion and watching C-beams glitter in the dark near the Tannenhauser Gate. You express the belief that all those moments will be lost in time like tears in rain. These authentic depictions seem to satisfy Fozzer. He nods his head and seems to think. He doesn't appear to be a fast thinker. Finally, he seems to have an idea. Do the cheese entities where you come from have a strong consciousness of class struggle? You have no idea what he's talking about, but you were always good at guessing the right answer on multiple choice tests. You assure him that the people where you come from have such a strong consciousness of class struggle that they use it to jack up their cars when they get flat tires. A big smile overspreads Fozzer's face, and he pumps his fist in the air. Pleased to meet you, comrade alien. All power to the workers. I imagine that finding me performing the honest labor of the working class makes you feel right at home. You assure him that it does. I suppose that you wish you could share in the simple proletarian joys and sorrows of the Alternian oppressed classes. You're not sure what proletarian means, but sharing joys and sorrows sounds like a hopeful prelude to friendship, so you say you were just thinking that you would like to share that kind of joys and sorrows. Easily done, comrade. Here, take this soil perturbation lance. You can enter into solidarity with the Alternian working class right now. No, don't thank me. Freedom, brotherhood, and equality is my motto. Conduct your perturbations right here, if you please. He points to where he was shoveling, and you begin to shovel there too. The moss that covers the ground is tough as leather, and the Alternian soil is rocky, hard, and unforgiving. No surprise there, and before long you're sweating profusely. But no exertion is too great for the pursuit of friendship. Fozzer watches you labor with brotherly satisfaction. Class solidarity is a wonderful thing, isn't it? From each according to his ability to each according to his need. You look like a walking cheese, but your muscular development is impressive. So just to pass the time while you labor in solidarity, what do you think of our planet? What has been your impression of it on your visit from outer space? Here's our first split off, as usual. We're gonna knock that short end out of the way first. And then, coming on back, y'all will have pick of the crop for choice number 2. You suppose it's no worse than a lot of places, with some good points and some bad. As a guest, it's only polite to say nice things about your host's home planet. Besides, meeting Fozzer has stoked your desire for a sweet friendship morsel, and a little praise and flattery often goes a long way to make people like you. So with the little breath you have to spare from your digging, you tell Fozzer that you found Alternia most interesting. The fierce rush of life here induces a salutary wakefulness, and boredom is virtually unknown. Also, the social structure arising from the hemispectrum and the multidimensional relationship matrix is very unusual, producing a fascinating array of possible interactions among people. You are looking forward to the day where you can tell your grandchildren about it. But Fozzer doesn't look as pleased as you'd hoped. So, you find Alternia agrees with you. Oh, yes, very much, you pant. You find it interesting and fascinating. Definitely. To you, the spectacle of those who happen to have been born with certain blood colors exploiting and oppressing those who have not is just a picturesque detail. Well, you wouldn't go so far as to... You find nothing objectionable in a society where the strong kill the weak at will, based on nothing more than the color of a bodily fluid? Where the upper classes see the lower as little more than inanimate objects whose only purpose is to serve them? Where the whole corrupt society is structured solely to breed cannon fodder for a psychotic empress's mad plan to conquer the entire galaxy? More peoples to oppress? That certainly wasn't what you... While the streets run with rust, orange, and gold blood, you stand unconcernedly and remark how interesting and fascinating Alternia is. While the fish people and their bluish lackeys strike the pap from the mouths of low-blood wrigglers, you smile pleasantly and remark how unusual Alternia is. Certainly not, but one can't judge other cultures by one's own... Oh, you can't dodge your class responsibility that way, you cur! You so-called intellectuals try to hide your fawning servility to the bosses by pretending to view society objectively, without moral judgments, when all the time you're simply crypto-imperialist lapdogs. And you come to the Happy Absence Pit Park pretending solidarity with the oppressed. Pshaw! I see now you're nothing but a cat's paw of the oppressor class. Nothing but a cheese-colored Judas Iscariot sent as a spy. Traitor, bootlicker, sycophant, murderer, monopolist, profiteer, slave trader, cannibal, parasite, technocrat, gangster, ectoplasm! No, you try to object, but Fozzer seizes the shovel from you and turns away. Turncoat, narc, double-crosser, weasel, hijacker, vulture, Visigoth, breathalyzer! You watch his back recede into the fog, your heart sinking with the wreck of your hopes and dreams for friendship. Game over. Whew, that was a mouthful. Yeah, so there's a couple of things to note there. First of all, observation that has already been made in chat. Communist Fozzer. Second of all, the mention of the name Judas Iscariot, which is not a troll name. It's a human religious figure? So how the fuck would he know that? So, I suppose we're gonna keep moving on. Oh my goodness. Okay. So back down we go. Fozzer Values. Okay. Let's hope it fucking worked this time. God. Fracking damn it. Okay. So, we're back where Fozzer has asked what MSPA reader's opinion of Alternia is. It's by far the worst place you've ever seen or heard of. The feeling comes over you suddenly that nothing can be more important than truth. Truth is at the foundation of all real friendship. Truth sets you free. Honesty is the best policy. So you take a deep breath and say that you hope you won't give offense, but that in your opinion, Alternia is the nastiest, ugliest, cruelest, most inhospitable, and most unfair place you've ever seen or heard of in a long life of travel and study. Even the plants are bloodthirsty. Even the soil is hard and mean. You've made some/many/no friends here, but you've heard it's also possible to make friends with lions, bears, killer whales, and other wild and dangerous creatures. In fact, often here on Alternia, you felt that you've been locked in a cage with a bunch of such wild and dangerous creatures. As you've talked, you've been watching Fozzer anxiously for signs of anger. You're surprised to see that instead, he seems to be loving it. And what about our political system? You've already put your foot in it, so you go ahead and put the other one in too. You express the opinion that a violent, rigidly stratified insectile social structure created solely to generate soldiers for a mad project to conquer the entire galaxy might raise eyebrows in some quarters. You admire natural selection and survival of the fittest as much as the next person, but this is overkill to a titanic scale. As you've been speaking, Fozzer's smile has grown wider and wider, and he's shown other signs of approval, such as jumping up and down and whirling around. He pumps his fist in the air. Forward to perfect socialism! It's so good to talk to someone who hasn't been hypnotized from Wrigglerhood with counter-revolutionary pap. Someone who sees the conditions on Alternia for what they really are, who sees the evil of the High Bloods. Someone who will march in the vanguard of the workers' revolution to face unflinchingly the onslaught of the aristocracy, probably, to die in a hail of bullets but never turn their back on the people. Oh, let me embrace you, comrade alien. Long-ass needed rant. Yeah, they just really needed to get that out there. That was just boiling under the surface for a while, because, I am fairly certain that most, if not all, humans would be pretty baffled and kind of feeling like that after spending so long on Alternia. He does so. He's oily and smells like mossy soil and pore ooze, but this does not dampen your spirits. What better preamble for making a suggestion of friendship? Agreeing with people about politics never fails to bring friendship closer. But before you can bring it up, Fozzer, having first kissed you on both cheeks, continues. But we mustn't allow our celebration of the People's Revolution to interfere with the honest labor that ennobles us. I'm holding you back from your ticket to the workers' paradise. Please proceed with your soil perturbation. All power to the people. Death to arbitrary hemispectral discrimination. Forward, comrade! I know, right? Comrade alien of all the fucking things. It's just such a... yeah. I know. It's perfect. It's good. He waves his hand with a flourish, and you start digging again. You wonder if it would be just as revolutionary if you traded places so Fozzer could do the digging and you could do the speechifying, but you don't wish to disturb the perfect harmony now existing between the two of you. Instead, you use your little available breath to inquire what all this soil perturbation is in aid of. Why, a coal pit, of course. Didn't you see the sign? This is the Happy Absence Pit Park, Fozzer Values, proprietor. Alternia's reactionary tradition is to just put the the dig coal pits anywhere without a second thought. But our revolutionary future demands that we have more respect for the dead, so I created this wonderful invention. The Pit Park. There's a clown concert being held not far from here, so I anticipate a brisk demand shortly. Best to be ready for these things. Pay attention to that line. Having a lot of dead clowns lying around rotting on the property is unpleasant, not to mention unsanitary. Get them underground pronto is our motto here at the Happy Absence Pit Park. You're wondering privately whether a little class solidarity couldn't be extended to the Purple Bloods, remembering your dear friend Caraco Pierrot, when Fozzer seems to give a jump. No, that is not ghosts. Grateful for an excuse to stop digging, you turn to look in the direction Fozzer is staring, leaning on your soil perturbation lance. You don't see anything but fog. You ask, what is not ghosts? Nothing is. I'm a dialectical materialist, and if any ghosts came around the Happy Absence Pit Park, they should be aware that I won't believe in them, so they might as well go somewhere else. You confess that you don't see anything but foggy darkness and humped and pitted ground, where you now guess piles of culled Alternian exoskeletons are buried in the coal pits. Exoskeletons. Interesting take on Alternian physiology. Yeah, it's basically a mass grave. I mean, yeah, that's what he's saying is respect for the dead, is mass graves instead of just leaving the bodies out to rot. Mass graves, still questionably respectful. But, yeah, Fozzer, are you okay? You'll see. You don't see any ghosts because there's no such thing. But the past few nights, I thought I saw beams of light shining up out of the ground. Almost as if, metaphorically, of course. Some of the exoskeletons in the coal pit had gotten hold of some flashlights and were shining them up through the chinks in the soil. Look, there it is again! This time you see it. A column of light that flashes up through the fog and is gone, seeming to come from a crack in the ground, which it briefly illuminates in blinding white. Fascinated, you move toward the crack, which is now dark and invisible again. What are you doing? Well, they are bugs. Yeah, no, that is quite an interesting. This, fun fact, we will be looking at the credits later, but this route is written by Gizi, aka Aisha Yufera's dad, who also wrote Caraco. Rustblood's able to converse with the dead. Yeah, supposedly that is a power that is common to Rustbloods, is being able to converse with the dead, or at least hear the dead. I don't know if it's necessarily converse. But yeah, that's something, like, a radio was connected to that. You look at Fozzer in surprise. He seems terrified. You ask tactfully whether he doesn't think you ought to see what that is. For example, it could be some infrastructure malfunction, and that could blow the Happy Absence Pit Park and all its inhabitants, living and dead, sky high. You're not even sure they have infrastructure in Alternia, but one can't be too careful. Well, maybe you're right. We are the fearless revolutionary cadres, after all. You can hear his teeth chattering. You move towards where you think the flash came from, Fozzer close behind you, peering over your shoulder. You can't help wondering where he'll be when the vanguard of his revolution is braving hails of bullets. You very much hope that his revolution, if it ever comes, won't happen while you're around. Just then, a whole series of lights flash silently up from the ground, making columns through the fog. Fozzer jumps and howls behind you. Non-existent! You tell him there's undoubtedly a logical explanation, though you have to admit that you had a weird feeling just now when the lights appeared. Like a momentary dizziness or a feeling of discontinuity. Keep that in mind. But you're more curious than ever now. Murmuring comforting things to Fozzer, you start digging right around where the lights you just saw came from. Then it's weird. because you break through some kind of thin crust, as if the soil in that particular place is just a few inches thick over a brittle surface that your shovel goes right through like old pottery. You wonder whether you'd inadvertently dug into an old coal pit, but what would bright light be doing coming out of an old coal pit? And in some weird way, it doesn't feel like a coal pit. It feels like something metaphysical. Like reality itself is particularly thin right in that spot, and you've broken through the very fabric of it with your soil perturbation lance. You dig around the edges of the hole, enlarging it until it's about a foot wide. The darkness within makes the darkness of the Alternian night seem bright by comparison. It's so dark that the soil falling into it and the part of your soil perturbation lance poking into it seem to vanish completely, as if on the outer side of that hole, reality itself gives out. You and Fozzer stare curiously down into this hole. Suddenly, a blinding but strangely blank light bursts up out of the hole and into your faces, and at the same time there's a deafening sound which seems to vibrate the very framework of reality, like a gigantic needle scratching a gigantic record. I am not going to imitate that sound. I'm very sorry. Y'all know I'm not a sound effects person. You're standing in the foggy night, holding a soil perturbation lance that has been handed to you by Fozzer Velias. He points to where he's just been digging, and you begin digging in the same place. The moss that covers the ground is tough as leather, and the Alternian soil is rocky, hard, and unforgiving. No surprise there, and before long you're sweating profusely. But you feel strange. Like you were just standing somewhere else, doing something else. Seeing something else. The after-images of a blinding light and the deafening sound seem to linger in your eyes and ears, but around you is nothing but dark fog and bare ground, humped and pitted. You must have had a dizzy spell. You shake it off and begin perturbing the soil. No exertion is too great for the pursuit of friendship, after all. Fozzer watches you with satisfaction. Yeah. Oh yeah, odd. That just happened. Honest work is a wonderful thing. All hail the old regime, eh? You look like a walking cheese, but your muscular development is impressive. Notice something a little off about that statement? What do you think of our planet? What has been your impression of it on your visit? Well, I will talk about a couple of theories as to what exactly happened there after we finish this route, because there's a little more to add on. But we have two choices. Chat, which one would you like to go with? Time loop? Does seem to be similar to a time loop, Can he dig into different timelines? That's an interesting one. Yeah, I think... Okay. Let's keep in mind that you zone in now. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I'm gonna save theory crafting for after this. Because, yeah. Y'all will... See, do the first option. And let's call it shit. Oh, okay, so I know I did notice in the Discord that Aleph has pieced out, so it's just the two of you. So I'm gonna flip this eraser. Actually, wait a second. Do I even have a way of telling which side this is? Gonna bust out my D&D dice again. Nice to get some use out of these things. I haven't been able to go to a game in a fucking month. Let's see. This is my... The fuck is this? My D8? Yeah, okay. So my D8 was on top. Odd numbers, first option. Second... even numbers, second option. Oh shit, that fell off the desk and hit the floor. Okay. Even numbers. So we're going with option number 2. It's by far the worst place you've ever seen or heard of. The feeling comes over you suddenly that nothing can be more important than the truth. I will speed read this because it's a little repetitive. Truth is at the foundation of all real friendship. Truth sets you free. Honesty is the best policy. So you take a deep breath and say that you hope you won't give offense, but in your opinion, Alternia is the nastiest, ugliest, cruelest, most inhospitable, and most unfair place you've ever seen or heard of in a long life of travel and study. Even the plants are bloodthirsty. Even the soil is hard and mean. You've made some many no friends here, but you heard it's also possible to make friends with lions, bears, killer whales, and other wild and dangerous creatures. In fact, sometimes here on Alternia, you felt that you've been locked in a cage with a bunch of such wild, dangerous creatures. No doubt you could have anticipated that blunt honesty like this would give offense, and indeed it seems to have done so. As you finish your remarks, Fozzer is frowning darkly. So you come to criticize Alternia as an uninvited guest, only to criticize and judge our civilization, eh? No. You know enough about our society, our billions of years of evolution, and our painstaking rise from mud-dwelling insectile ancestors, the political and sociological theories of our statesmen, philosophers, and scientists to make those judgments, do you? Well, no doubt you've done studies establishing what would happen if the hemispectral groups were placed in different relations to one another. If, for example, Rustbloods were the highest group and Fuchsiabloods the lowest. Well, no, but I suppose your planet is so similar to Alternia that you have a firm basis on which to apply your preconceptions to us? Not at all, and surely you aliens are similar enough biologically and physiologically to trolls to know how we feel about our own society. I thought not. I guessed from the very first that you were nothing but a dilettante faux socialist pseudo-intellectual spouting your ivory tower theories without the least idea what you were talking about. Well, smarty pants alien, I suggest that you take your cheese-like person and your theories home to your own planet. It won't be long before her most high imperial condescension conquers your arm of the galaxy, so that we Alternians can return the favor by standing in judgment over your society and politics. In the meantime, I bid you good Sidram. Whew. Yeah, so... Oh my. Looks like there has been a complete fucking 180. And with that, Fozzer Velia seizes his soil perturbation lance, as well as your hopes and dreams, and stalks off into the foggy night. Game over. Look at that nice middle finger. Yeah, you totally fucking called it, Sneak Cat. Shit got flipped. Faux socialist. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. Because I am not really familiar with communist ideology, I'm not gonna be the one to try and unpack all of that. But let's hit up that final ending. You suppose it's no worse than a lot of places, with some good points and some bad. As a guest, it's only polite to say nice things about your host's home planet. Besides, meeting Fozzer has stoked your desire for a sweet friendship morsel, and a little praise and flattery often goes a long way to make people like you. So, with the little breath you have to spare from your digging, you tell Fozzer that you found Alternia most interesting. The fierce rush of life here induces a salutary wakefulness, and boredom is virtually unknown. Also, the social structures arising from the hemispectrum in the multidimensional relationship matrix is very unusual, producing a fascinating array of possible interactions among people. You're looking forward to the day when you can tell your grandchildren about it. As you're speaking, a satisfied smile overspreads Fozzer's face. I'm glad you recognize the nobility of our ancient society with its orderly hierarchy and naturally evolved degrees of privilege reflecting naturally evolved degrees of ability. Big yikes to that. I may not be well versed in communism, but that whole statement is definitely a big yikes. You're pleased that your words have been met with approval, but you're still a little troubled. You have an odd déjà vu sensation that this whole exchange could have gone quite differently, maybe even did go quite differently sometime in the past or in some parallel universe. You inquire timidly whether the total domination of the lower bloods by the higher on Alternia doesn't sometimes feel like oppression. Never! I myself am only a rust blood, so I lack the privileges of the higher bloods, but the most important thing for a society is that everyone should be in their appointed place and do the things they're suited for. Also big yikes. If all the passengers in a rowboat keep their seats and row in the same direction, the boat will quickly reach its destination. But if the passengers all jump up and start running around and grabbing the other's oars, the boat will capsize and all will be lost. You remark diplomatically that Alternia isn't a rowboat rowing towards a destination. Bingo. You're wrong! A planet is very much like a rowboat advancing through the black water of space, and as for our destination, all of us on Alternia aim at but a single goal every hour of every day, to serve her most high imperial condescension in conquering her glorious galaxy-wide empire. Long live the Empress! Ah! Well, you suppose the sense of being part of something larger than yourself makes up for a lot. It does! And naturally evolved systems are almost always more robust than artificially designed ones. The fucking hemispectrum is an artificially designed system. This oppressive system is an artificially designed system. I also do not agree with naturally evolved systems or being more robust. But like his point here is literally not even applicable in this situation. I mean, it's just wrong, but it's also especially not applicable here. They are. No. It just doesn't... And it's true that Alternia's social structure does bring some semblance of order to a collection of 12 disparate troll subtypes. Now, the Judas Iscariot thing, this, and one more, all three are in question of being typos. The third one, I'm fairly certain... Oh, no, that typo was fixed. In the beginning, when it says Carco Piero... It originally said Carcat Piero. That was just a typo. But Judas Iscariot and this are in question as were those just like slip of the mind, like easy tossed these in kind of like thinking in Homestuck terms? Or is this more world building? So who's scared? I know, right? The flip is just ugh, and it's god awful. But, yeah, I know, Carcat Piero. That was a typo. That was in the original version, which I believe has been patched out. If it hasn't been patched out, then it means that my brain just, like, auto-corrected it and completely buzzed over it when we ran into that line earlier. So, yeah. Fan art that, yeah, I mean, since that typo's in there, I actually would venture that does exist at this point. But yeah, 12, because, like, at this point, to the best of MSP Reader's knowledge, there was only 11. Because, you know, there's... To their knowledge, MSP Reader, only one candy red blood troll in all of troll history, so that wouldn't really be another subtype. And I'm fairly certain this is post-lime blood extinction, although that has not been explicitly stated. But MSPA Reader has never met any lime bloods, although that does make me think back in the Bronya Bad End, when the Luci are kind of, you know, going wild, like stepping on grubs and all that, there are 2 different shades of green in the blood splatter that shows up on the screen. With possible indication of that being a lime blood wiggler or wriggler. They're both used interchangeably. But if anyone's gonna know about lime bloods, it's gonna be this guy. I mean, yeah, I mean, but then that's not something, I don't know, because we haven't actually met any Limebloods, so I feel like that's something that MSP reader wouldn't know. So it's, again, it's hinting at this like, meta-knowledge, but at the same time, like, is this before or after the Limeblood genocide? Like, what's going on here? It is! Fozzer beams at you fondly. There is nothing that warms the heart like someone who thinks you're right about everything. It's so wonderful to find someone, even someone who looks like a piece of cheese, who is so intelligent and understands society and politics so perfectly. Finally, a true friend. Victory. But is it really? Hasn't met any sea dwellers either. MSPA reader knows of Trizza's existence and has met sea dwellers in Karako's route. The sea dwellers who were bullying Karako. Okay, so because Marvus's route is an extra long one, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna click into this, and then I'm gonna wait until we get to the second choice. I'll take my break there, and then we'll do the two endings because it's long. It is a long ass one, so I'm gonna kind of put the break in a different spot today. Okay. Y'all ready for this? Are we even in the right timeline? That's a good question. Here we go. Marvus Zolato. Oh, you still need to watch Karako. Yeah, see, there are sea dwellers in that route that bully him. And yes, Karako's route is also a wild journey with a lot of clownish twists and turns. Has the music started? I don't think it starts until later, does it? You need to pee? Oh dear. No, there's no music yet. Ah, fuck it. I was just gonna wait, but you know what? I gotta pee too. So... let's just leave this for 5 minutes. Let me change the... okay. Lag has gotten worse. Fuck. Okay, well, you gotta pee. I gotta pee. We're gonna take, like, brief 2 minutes to do that. And then we will take an actual official 5-minute break later as well. But, yeah. Okay. We'll be back. Hello, hello. We here? We going? We ready to rev? Alright. You know, the pickle. Drink the pickle juice in a wine glass. Ah! Oh my god, of all things, in a fucking wine glass. Okay, yeah, this is a long one, so I just got a motor directly into it. Okay. You find yourself ambling down the road without any particular destination in mind. It seems you don't have to do much active searching to land yourself in varying combinations of adventure and or disaster. Where will the vicissitudes of fate next lead you? Who knows? You walk for a while like that. You've just about lost all hope of running into a wacky contrivance when your palm husk lights up with the delightful and or foreboding sound of friendship. Someone is calling you. You're less excited to see that the person who happens to be calling you is Zebra. Who's stopping you now? I want the pickles to be fresh. That's fair. Also, I'm sorry in advance for Zebra. It's not that you dislike Zebra precisely. It's that you might struggle to rank him above literally any other troll you've met, including the yellow guy who loves genocide. Yeah, this route has some harsh burns for Zebra, and I strongly appreciate it. But you're not one to leave a friend hanging. You dutifully answer the call. Ah, my good friend, you picked up. Awfully quickly, might I add. Yeah, you just love friendship. You ask Zebra why he's calling. Do I need a reason to call? Is the thrill of dialectical riposte not cause enough to make social contact with one of my dearest adversaries / friend, or maybe more, depending on whatever you feel comfortable with and interested in at any given point in time? You have no idea how to even respond to that. I'm just fucking with you. I stand to incur material gain from your association. I need you to stay right where you are. Well, what are you gonna do? Hang up? You stand right where you are and stay on the line. You ask what Zebra is up to, but he won't say. Tells you he needs to concentrate. Eventually, you notice a strange shape resolving in the distance down the road, drawing nearer, slowly but steadily. After a while longer of waiting, the figure in the distance grows close enough for you to tell that it's Zebra. Oh, that's you, you say. It looks like he's riding on some kind of incredibly cursed hover Segway. Yeah, I'm coming, sweetie. Ugh. You would say it takes maybe 15 minutes or so for him to make it the entire way over on his hover scoot. He's like lightly vibrating because he's standing on this fucking thing. There you are. Impressed by my new ride? Oh, yeah, you say. You're very impressed. I knew you would be. I brought it out because tonight is a very special night. Or it will be, if you'd be so kind as to make me the happiest troll in Alternia. Is he, like, proposing to you? Incredibly eating. How do you delete? What? Never mind. You ask him what he's vague blogging about. What indeed? The real question of what is, what are you doing this evening? Well, it's not like you've ever had any plans to do anything besides stupidly bumble into one ludicrous boondoggle after another. Seems like whatever he's alluding to inviting you to probably fits the bill for being included in your long itinerary of unspecified dumbass bullshit you were bound to get embroiled in anyway. Fantastic. Well, it just so happens that... Sorry, I just got a little scratch in my throat. I'm gonna have some water before I keep going. Ugh. Well, it just so happens that I managed to get my hands on 2 tickets to Clownfest XX Rex. And I had no fucking idea how to pronounce that. But, Aisha, Euphera, answered an ask, specifically about the pronunciation of it, and said that it is pronounced XX Rex, or at least that's the impression that she got. So I'm just gonna fucking go with it. And I thought, who better to take along than my dearest alien associate of an unspecified nature? The fuck out of my face, you piece of shit. Is that... Okay. Yeah, pickles. Is... Odd. Are you saying ugh because that's... reference in mocking to an actual music festival? Because if it is, I would not have picked up on that information. You have no idea what Clownfest XX Rex is, but it's not off to a good start with the name. Oh, I should have known you wouldn't be familiar with it. It's a little sophisticated for an off-world reprobate such as yourself. Oh, fuck off. It's a music festival centered around purple blood performers. Now, normally I wouldn't trifle with high blood entertainment, disgustingly oppressive as it is. But when you think about it, aren't clowns the most disprivileged class of them all? Ooh, that's a bad take. You don't ask him to explain what he means by that, because everyone would be really angry reading it. So first of all, no, you just hate him? That's fair. Yeah, first of all, I fucking laughed my ass off reading this the first time. Second of all, another line specifically referring to the reader. MSPA reader up until this point, this has just been narration of their internal dialogue. This has not been this kind of meta, this kind of directly poking at the reader. The banana cat right now, zebra. Yeah. But yeah, this is new. Then this is a very different kind of meta poking. Okay, so we're gonna get the short end out of the way first, which of course is find something else to do that sounds less fucking awful. Well, you can't say that the invitation isn't tempting. Going to a writhing gathering of violent jesters certainly sounds like a recipe for a stimulating time. But what if you didn't throw yourself blindly into obvious peril for once in your incredibly painful life? Pass. Oh. Zebra sighs heavily. He looks completely destroyed. Despite yourself, you feel a pang of guilt in your chest. I see. I guess that's fine. I'll just have to find someone else to facilitate my brush with greatness. What is that supposed to mean? You don't bother to ask. When you don't give in to his obvious guilting either, Zebra seems to accept his fate. Sigh. Whatever. I can't believe I came all the way here on my hover scoot just to be callously rejected like this. But I guess I'll see you around, hotcakes. Ugh. Zebra powers back up his little scooter, gearing up to go. But when he tries to lean back so the machine will start heaving in reverse, something is wrong. The scooter just won't move, no matter how many times he slaps at the control panel on the handlebars. You ask if it's broken. What? No, it can't be. It's brand new, and it was just working a minute ago. Maybe I'm in the wrong mode. Zebra hammers the buttons on the control panel for a bit with no luck. Damn, maybe it is the motors. So Zebra tries leaning forward to check it out. That's not the problem at all. In fact, as soon as he pushes his weight against the control stick, the scooter surges forward. It collides with your frail human body, knocking you to the ground. And there's too much momentum in the motion for Zebra to stop there. The jets underneath the scooter rake over your pummeled body, incinerating you and killing you instantly. Damn, that was an aggressively violent end to a route. Killing you instantly. Quite a description. Okay. Now, of course, we all know we gotta go to the fucking concert, right? Because that's where Marvus is at. So, the worst and most hilarious thing to imagine. I know, right? Like, holy fuck. That's just the wording of it, too, is, you know, definitely one of, the most hilarious ways to word the ending. Okay, 1 second. I just gotta put the fucking chapstick on because my lips are dying. I hate winter. Okay. That should help. Agree to toss your meaty moral That's a typo. That should say mortal. Agree to toss your meaty mortal body into a clown pit to get moshed to death or whatever. I knew you'd be there for me. Alright, let's go. Zebra invites you to hop onto the back of his scooter so you can head out to Clownfest. You say you're not sure this is the most effective avenue of locomotion. Zebra tells you it's all the rage and not to be a little bitch about it. So, tell me. So, let me tell you a little about my plans for tonight. It feels like the scooter is going even slower than it was when he arrived, now that it's struggling under the weight of 2 people. You see, my favorite rhyme juggler on the planet is going to be there tonight. His name is Marvus Delotto. You might have heard of him, he's pretty famous. You say you've never heard of him, because you're an alien. Oh, right. Well, he's only the best at all of Alternia. He came up a few sweeps back when he won first place on Slam or Get Called. Oh, please tell me you at least know about Slam or Get Called. Which is, of course, reference to the poster that you can click on in Zephyros' bedroom in Hiveswap, which we just finished playing over the weekend. Hey! Oh, did the music start? My earbuds are yelling at me. Fuck, I missed the music starting. So the music? Okay. It's such a fucking bop, first of all. Second of all, I read this on... I think on Saturday as well, because I was just really just fucking hilarious. So this song is called Clownfucker, and it's by James Roach and Toby Fox together. The power team behind the Hiveswap Act 1 soundtrack. And it's really exciting to see Toby Fox getting a little more involved in Hiveswap things now again as well, because he did Sharon's track as well. But James Roach's fucking description on his Tumblr for this, I think Toby actually named this one. The idea here is that you start with a normal song and slowly work your way to the weird clown shit. This is meant to reflect the real-life struggle of finding someone hot and slowly but surely acclimating to the fact that they are a clown. We all been there. Extremely relatable. Yes, Seacat, it is called Clownfucker. And if you listen to the song, you can tell the beginning, it starts off pretty chill, and then there's more and more and more of the clown sound effects and the clown motifs that we hear in a lot of the clown songs for Hiveswap. I got that weird laugh from Toby as an MP3, and I think it's from a Spider-Man game. It could just be Toby's own impish laughter, but probably not. Toby has a hearty, joy-filled laugh with exactly 0% in the vein of clownery. I love Toby so much. So sweet. So here we are, Friendsim Friday, and I have to act like clown fuckery is just another aspect of my life akin to, say, a sweet tooth or psoriasis. Like, yeah man, we all done fugged a clown once, am I right, fellas? Over here grasping at straws, desperation in my voice. Right? Fellas? His name was Daniel, and he really loved ICP, and I think now he works as a manager at a Taco Bell. Yeah, that's right, Daniel. I'm calling you out, you nasty juggalo. My inherited army of teens are coming into your Taco Bell and taking all your Fuego sauce. Don't call me. That felt good. I feel better. What were we talking about? When you met Chahat? Y'all, okay, look. There's a lot of people who want to fuck Marvus. I'm just putting that out there. It is not exclusive to Chahat. That's MLM WLW solidarity. Solidarity bleh, is Chahat and Marvus. Clown fucking solidarity. Anyway. We haven't even met Marvus yet, and I'm already getting into that juicy fucking discourse. I'm just gonna keep going. You do not know about Slam or Get Called. Well, it's a bi-sweeply reality program where aspiring slam poets compete to prove who has what it takes. it's really cutthroat stuff. I mean, I think there are at least 5 decapitations a season. The competition is about skill. No matter the blood color of who is competing, the troll who wins is the troll who has the nastiest flow and the dopest bars. Everyone has an equal shot. I mean, sure, a highblonde has won every season to date, but it's basically biology that clowns are better at rhyming than everyone else. I'm gonna say no to that. Even if highbloods were lowbloods, that would still be true. That's equality. Oh my god. I'm just picturing that fucking Ariana Grande gif. Thank you, Odd. Yes, that is precisely what I was attempting to say and completely butchering by stumbling over it. Oh my god, Sneak Cat. Oh. Just wait till you meet Marvus. Oh my god. Yeah, makes sense. You think this is really progressive stuff he's saying. Where could he have possibly gotten so educated and smart? I can't tell if that line's supposed to be sarcasm, but I sure fucking hope it is. Oh, you flatter me. Anyway, as you know, I am deeply connected in the music industry, but because of oppressive hemispectrum systems, I'm afraid I'm only truly afforded downward mobility. What? The clown sphere is a really insular, close-knit community, but with the right hustle, I'm going to break that glass ceiling. Marvus is the perfect troll to bring me into the fold. You say, this guy sounds pretty brutal. Are you sure you want to actually meet this clown? What, Marvus? Huh. I mean, sure, he does what he needs to survive a rigidly ossified power system that could never truly be dismantled by the actions of a single individual. So, I feel like that's somewhat... Never truly be dismantled by the actions of a single individual. I mean, no individual, yeah, but if you get enough individuals all fighting for the same thing, like actually doing it, Zebra, you fucking asshole, who is not doing shit fuck, then you can bring these systems down. But that doesn't mean that he supports it. Contrary to what you might think, Marvus is a spectacularly subversive figure in the industry. If you listen to his music, really listen, you'll hear some borderline revolutionary stuff. And yet the suffer. I know, right? Holy fuck. Borderline revolutionary. Not actually revolutionary, just borderline revolutionary. I think he'd tear it all down if he could. I might have mentioned it, but being a clown is kind of woke. Oh my god, I want to wash my mouth out with soap after saying that. That's why I've always wanted to probe that think pan of his, really get to the bottom of his radical praxis and help spread his message of social reform to the masses. And you're going to help me do it. And here's why he got in touch with you. After 4 hours of scooting and one excruciatingly detailed, unbroken account of the events of the past 3 seasons of Slammer Get Called, you arrive at Clownfest XXRX. Yep. Woke clowns. Yep. Okay, so here's a good look at the campgrounds. The festival grounds. We have the nice big stage at the back with Marvus's headlining face peeking up over the top. Big crowd, a couple stands selling food, and a lovely little balloon arch welcoming them in. You need pickle juice. Yeah. Yeah, you're in for something. Clownfest feels more like a circus than your idea of a music festival. In the distance is a wide-open field dotted with disorganized masses of people, all gathered before a nightmarish stage you presume to be the site of the evening's main event. The entrance to the festival grounds opens up into something of a parking lot, filled with whimsical tents and people selling various snacks and refreshments. You see a clown juggling what looks like at least 7 hot dogs. Absolutely ghoulish. You're glad Diamond isn't here to see this. Oh my god, odd. Let me just fucking... Yep. I mean, fucking legendary. Really. Really and truly. Oh, God. Zebra brings you up to the gates, flashes your tickets, and gets you wristbanded and admitted to the festival grounds. Seems like there's still some time before the performance is slated to start. There are some spectators already gathered in the field, but those of more privileged blood castes are lined up around the tents in the lot to buy food and merchandise. While you walk around the festival grounds, you ask Zebra what exactly he has planned. What could you possibly do to get him in the good with the clowns? Zebra takes it as an invitation to whisper conspiratorially into your ear. His breath is hot and heavy against your hearing canal. You also grab woke clowns. Hoarding. Yeah, you have a lot of URLs, don't you? This is not the first time that you've nabbed a random URL from a stream. Here's the plan, my sweet little rust drop. Ugh. We get in, wait for the show to start, and then when Marvus comes onto the stage, really gets into his act, you're going to jump the barricade and rush the stage. Or at least, you're going to try. Of course, I'm going to stop you. I'll tackle you before you make it to the stage, and I'll call you right in front of Marvus and everybody. Oh, calm down. I'm trying to tear down the stereotypes that lowbloods are all simple-minded dullards, and you aren't doing your people any favors by reinforcing cause for prejudice. Wow, that's not how that works. Holy fuck. Obviously, I'm not going to really kill you. You'll simply pretend to play dead after I heroically foiled your black designs on Marvus. My actions will firmly place me within Marvus' Ashen Quadrant, so he'll have no choice but to recognize me. Not how that works. And then the clowns will see what a hero I am, and praise me and bring me backstage to reward me. Also not how that works. Really a flawless plan, my dear. Ugh. If you just do what you're told, nothing will go wrong. I, for some strange reason, have strong doubts about that. Ugh. Before you can proffer any critique of this caper, the jovial clamor of chatting and revelry surrounding you is pierced by a rising chorus of blood-curdling shrieks. You whip around to ascertain the source of the dreadful sound, but it becomes quickly apparent that those were not screams of pain at all. Manipulating people into relationships. I know, this is a fucking nightmare. You know what's up when Zebra joins in with the ear-splitting squeals. That's him! Man of the hour! There he is, finally his first appearance. All that fucking Zebra just to get to this. Oh, a teacup, how dainty. It's the man of the hour himself. An expensively dressed juggalo is making his way through the crowd, flanked by a robust team of hulking indigo bloods. Every aspect of him telegraphs unimaginable celebrity. The purposefully disheveled yet fashionable fit of his clothes, the swagger of his step, the 10-man camera crew trailing behind him. That Dorito bod. I know! Fucking Dorito. Also, of course, a lot of people are saying that, along with just general WLW MLM solidarity on the clown fucking thing, it's also WLW MLM solidarity on Big Titty. Because the two of them just like... He walks with a measured poise, despite the chaos rising around him. Dozens and dozens of young trolls are flinging themselves at his entourage without any apparent concern for their safety. The bodyguards are roundhouse kicking the eager teens into the ground left and right like a bloody blender of adolescent aliens. It's pure carnage. He really knows how to draw a crowd, doesn't he? A minute ago, it was tough to truly grasp. Truly gasp. Another typo, that should say grasp. I'm right. A minute ago, it was tough to truly grasp the hype, but after seeing him in person, you don't know what it is, but this swaggy clown has an undeniable gravitas that commands the attention of everyone around him. Rethinking your opinion on men? Y'all fucking stop. Oh my god. It's impossible to look anywhere else. Even the Alternian moonlight seems to endeavor the glint of his golden accoutrements twice as bright. But he's gone just as quickly as he arrived, up to the festival stage to set up his act. He leaves a bloody void in his wake. Zebra is bouncing on the balls of his feet following the encounter. He clearly can't wait to get up into the pit, and to be honest, neither can you. What is it about a good clown that is so utterly irresistible? Zebra takes you up to the fields spread out before the stage. There are thousands and thousands of trolls already standing around, ready for the show to start. From the looks of the crowds in the back breaking down their tents, there have been rustbloods camping out for days to secure their spots. But even those hard-won locations are much further to the back than where Zebra is leading you. There aren't many highbloods here by comparison, so Zebra is able to make you walk right in, muscle past all the ceruleans, and grab a spot by the barricade with maybe 5 minutes to spare before the show starts. There are some roadies up there on the stage now, dashing around to finalize all the equipment and arrangements. Oh, shoot. Did you remember to bring your concert diaper? Oh my god. I just have to warn you, that doesn't stop being referenced. Excuse you? Zebra turns to you with wide eyes. You're awfully close together now, boxed in by a swell of trolls pushing your bodies closer and closer to the stage. Just looked over at chat. Yeah. Oh, y'all are in for something. I'm not gonna lie, I have a couple more content warnings that I'll need to give out for later. Good God. You know, your concert diaper. You don't actually know. You don't have a single clue about your concert diaper. You ask him if he's wearing his concert diaper. He pats the front of his pants, which you notice are looking a bit plumper than usual. Of course. You can't just come to one of these things without your concert diaper. The number of times that I'm having to say that is like... I'm like astral projecting into the next dimension right now. This is fucking ridiculous. Things in the pit can get pretty intense, bro, and you can't leave to use the load gaper after it starts. Man, you're really going to regret not bringing your concert diaper. So is everyone around us. Ugh. Before you can even attempt to formulate a response to that, the crowd breaks into thunderous cheering. You don't want to know this? Oh, buddy, you're in for a ride. Anyway, your heart skips a beat as you look up. But of course, the clown who's clambering up to center stage isn't him. Marvus is clearly too hot to blow on the first act. All the same, people are really fired up over this raggedy juggalo. He seems like a serviceable clown, you suppose. He's got enough gold chains and is reasonably swaggy. God. He gets bumping, drops a few bars. Just sipping your pickle juice very daintily from a teacup through all of his buffoonery. It's fine, you guess, but he's not your clown. You know the moment you laid eyes on Marvus that he was the only clown your heart would ever be able to see again. I'll address the kind of almost exaggeration of the attraction after we finish this route. There's gonna be a lot to talk about. Zebra leans into your ear and has to yell to be heard over the sounds of the music in the crowd. I never much like Rapsta Slamsy's work, to be honest. Sure, the beats are produced well, but he has a very insipid sense of lyricism. Triz's clam this, Triz's ineffable military might that. We get it, you want to harpoon the heiress. Who doesn't, honestly? We don't need to hear about it all day. Isn't singing about harpooning the heiress a culpable offense? Like, he's like, ugh, you're not revolutionary. Pardon? You hate that Zebra's here. Just you wait. Just you wait. A solid 15 minutes of mildly provocative slams later, and old Slamsy is slinking off backstage. As soon as he's gone, a new jester takes the floor. If you wanted to get into the music, it proves difficult. Every new act they bring onto the stage is immediately followed by a hollering earful of Zebra's scathing critiques. You wonder why he's so fixated on getting in the good with this gaggle of urban farceurs if he thinks so little of their technical and artistic merits to begin with. As you stand leaned sweatily against the barricade, you start to wonder if it's all worth it. Could the sight of a single rapping man really outweigh all the physical and psychic agony of waiting and standing and stewing in the heat of the pit? Will you have just endured nearly 3,000 words of hanging out with Zebra for something that will ultimately let you down? Again, referencing the word count, very meta. But as the I guess that's kind of questionable, but here, I'm gonna slot that in as meta. But as the penultimate clown trundles off the set, the taste of the air changes. The lights on the stage go dark, the booming sound system goes quiet, and a tremulous hush falls over the crowd. You feel your heart stop in that silence. You know down to your bones that this is the moment you've been waiting for. From Sea Dweller to Rustblood, nobody moves. The sound of his light footsteps against the darkened stage can only be audible to someone as close as you. The anticipation swallows you whole. When the floodlights snap back on and illuminate his astounding figure center stage, you feel it. Though yet of modest stature, the lanky juggalo has the presence of a man 1,000,000 feet tall. He radiates a power the likes of which you've never felt before. You feel him inside of you intimately, religiously, indelibly. Yes, this is it. This is your clown. Then he opens his mouth to utter what feels like the most important words you've ever heard in your life. Hey. All hell breaks loose. Everyone is screaming around you. You grip tight on the barricade as you stare up at him, glowing, messianic, arms outstretched to drink in the zealous fervor of the crowd, all incited by a single, incredibly powerful word. Hey. God, you'll never forget it. What up, guys, lol? You jugs ready to cook? You can't help it. You start screaming. You're so fucking ready! Also, anybody else getting a little... Did anybody else get some, emotional whiplash from the way that he's speaking? Because of course he's talking that way. He's a fucking clown. But the entire fandom pegged him as this, like, well-spoken manipulator. Oh god. Is this just gonna be fuckboy talk? Just wait and see. This is only the start. Lol, these buddies be baking beans. Shiz. Any of y'all forget your concert diapers? Because it's rank out there. I told you, this concept doesn't fucking go away. You feel racked by shame. How could you forget your concert diaper? You'll never be so foolish again. But it's aight. I'ma freshen things up, you hear me? Zebra takes hold of your hand and squeezes it tight. You appreciate the gesture. God, he's so fucking beautiful. You understand. You feel deeply, utterly devastated to know how far out of your grasp he is. To know how far out of your grasp he is. Why would a man like that ever even look at you? There is no way someone so tremendous, so magnificent, so extravagant would waste his time offering his friendship to someone as insignificant as you. But as desolating as that feeling may be, you aren't ready to put him out of your life just yet. Maybe there are other ways you can be close to him. Listen to his music, follow him wherever he goes, dedicate your life to him. You want to know everything about him that you can. Maybe this way you can honor him. Befriend him in your own heart, if not his. Is a love one-sided any less beautiful? So, like, there's a lot of stuff that's been previously said that's big yikes, but there's, like, a lot of stuff here that's, like, super big yikes. When the music at last starts to blast through the speakers, you ascend. The pain in your legs and your back disappears. You feel nothing but streaming euphoria. You thank the forces of serendipity for guiding you to the glorious epiphany of this beatific singularity. The show's nothing to scoff at either. You, a highly discerning individual known to frequently make posts online regarding the quality of rap and whether or not those who purport it possess such ability, do in fact have the requisite bars and are fully blown away by the act. I really doubt that MSP readers actually posted about rap online. Becoming a stan? It's some really good stuff. He's just really going hard and hot with these raps. Not that intensity is the sole barometric of the quality of hip-hop. The fire that Marvus is dropping is a broad contemporary performance that would equally satisfy any aficionado of any relevant subgenre. Not a single thing about him is even slightly racist. You're really starting to get into the zone when Zebra starts screaming in your ear again. You were already going deaf from the concert as it was. I think it's about time to get this show on the road, don't you? Here's our choice. And here's where we're gonna take 5. I gotta rest my voice. Those pants are tight. I gotta rest my voice. Yeah, this is what is happening behind the menus. Yep. It's 1 a.m. It's 10 after 1 actually, and we're probably gonna go until fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, but fuck it. Music volume down. Yeah, I need 5. The 2 long form endings are long form endings. They are very extended. So let me see here. What color should I make the text this time? Let's do red. Okie dokie, yeah, that works. Okay. So, you have a flight response to the shit hitting the fan. Planning to stay up late? More than merry, a perfect plan. The fuck am I even saying? God, it's been a long day. Alright. So I'm gonna put on the break music. We're gonna take 5. And while break is happening, here are your choices, which are slightly obscured by the break text. But go along with Zebra's cowardly and nefarious plan to scam your beloved clown, or no fucking way. It's up to y'all in chat to see which route you want to see first. Back in 5. Okay, we are back. You vote no, and Sneak Cat's going neutral, so, guess that's how we're gonna go. Okay, let me take the break text off the screen. Okay. No fucking way. Are you kidding, you say? There's no way you're gonna vault over that barricade and try to make an attempt on Marvus's life, fake or not. For one thing, that plan is fucking stupid, and you'd immediately die. Second of all, Marvus is a beautiful artist with the soul of a true poet, and you're not going to help anyone attempt to exploit his celebrity for selfish purposes. You conclusively inform Zebra that he'll have to find someone else to help him hoodwink sweet Marvus. What's that? I can't hear you over all the incredibly vicious and beautiful rapping. You tell Zebra that you're not doing it. You just want to listen to the rest of the concert and enjoy yourself. Zebra seems horribly taken aback. What? But I thought we were friends. laced with diamonds. Ugh. New URL is clown titty. Oh my god, Sneak Cat. Odd. Holy fuck. You reassure Zebra that you are friends, but affirming a friendship doesn't necessarily require one to embark upon a ludicrous suicide pact in order to socially hornswoggle a rhythmically gifted Mary Andrew. You're hardly Thelma and Louise. Get real. You tell Zebra he needs to find someone else to help him cozy up to the clown's inner circle. Zebra harumphs, offended, and decides to go. He starts to push away through the crowd down the length of the barricade. And with that, you're free to turn your gaze back to his mirthful eminence and embrace the new peace you have found in his artwork. How does he do that with his mouth? But Marvus only keeps distributing dope, and the crowd only gets rowdier. Before you know it, you find yourself being wrenched into the writhing mass, jostled around and subsumed by the transcendent power of the music. Your pitiful little body becomes nothing but a note, as in his wicked symphony, a raindrop washed away in the rapids. Some time ago, you might have accepted your fate here and allowed yourself to be trampled by the mob, but you have something to live for now. Even as you feel yourself begin to physically break, those sick beats tether you spiritually to the mortal world. His ruthless bars cut through the heat and sweat and heavy stench of piss and meat, drawing you like a sailor to a siren song. Not even death could wrench you free of his grasp. In spite of the odds, you manage to muscle your way back up to the fore. You exit the mosh pit, a shattered mess, bruised, battered, and broken, hanging on only by the most tenuous of threads. As you look around you, you get a glimpse of your fate. You're surrounded on all sides by trolls who have collapsed and been trampled dead, faces frozen in a rictus of ecstasy. Given how light-headed you feel, you aren't long for this world either. But you can carry on a bit further. For him. Wow, he's really something else, that Marvus, you think as your wasted body slumps against the barricade. It's all you can do to lift your weak head and stare up at him, drinking up his boundless audiovisual wonder as your vision starts to blur and your consciousness begins to fade. You jerk back to your senses when you feel something splashing on your face. His gently gyrating crotch. You cast around wildly for the source of the water. To your disbelief, you see that it was Marvus. He's standing at the edge of the stage, gyrating his hips to the choreography as he looks down at you in concern. It's like staring into the groin of an angel. He waits for a break in his verse to cover his mic and mouth to you. Yo, buddy, you white? You can't believe how gracious he is. To see a humble fan such as yourself in pain and stop to make sure you're okay. Is this real, or have you passed on into heaven after all? The leg is like, it's not great today, but like just watching chat and knowing exactly what part you just got to is so fucking satisfying. Your gaze tracks up from his well-proportioned crotch to the generous view offered by the plunging neckline of his shirt. You're all right now. You've never been more right in your life. Marvus jumps off the stage into that impassable purgatory that separates it from the pit, the gods from the mortals, and makes his way over to you. He stretches out his hands. Hey, babe. Want to dance? Your broken bones are no obstacle. Instincts propels you over the barricade and into his arms. He catches you like you've both been waiting your entire lives for this moment. You've never felt more warm or safe. He scoops you up with his incredible strength and carries you back onto the stage. Marvus is talking into his mic again, so his words reverberate through the entire field. Look what we got here. Seems like a fucking low blood cut to the front of the line, my friends, lol. The remainder of the crowd that's still conscious boos viciously. What? What's happening? Oh, you're clearly bleeding red from being stomped in the face several times in the mosh pit, and in the murky light of the stage it looks awfully burgundy. Someone's been naughty. Yes, you've been so naughty, you say into the mic. Just so you know, from this point forward, it gets uncomfortably detailed about a number of very specific kinks in certain ways. It's a lot to handle, just so you're aware. No remorse. For damn shame. The crowd jeers. Oh no, did it cut? Oh my god, I don't want any of you to miss any of what's happening. You're still here? Oh, thank fuck you're still online. Oh my god, I would be so mad if it cut again, especially getting into this route. It's fucking wild. Aw, Twitch ads. That's bullshit. I don't even have enough fucking subscribers or followers or whatever to, sign up for affiliate. That's not even fucking, getting me paid. That's just filling their pockets. The crowd jeers. Well, we clearly got a criminal on our damn hands. What do you think I should do with them? Any opinions? The response is disjointed, but still functionally unanimous. Amidst the clamor, one word keeps ringing out clearly. Kill, 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 kill. Wow, y'all want me to kill him? Shit, that's brutal. Well, I ain't one to let down my fans, you hear me? Justice be fucking done, my merry men. What better way to cap off a wicked night than with a little gutter blood shower? LOL. Well, you're hardly qualified to question Marvus's judgment. If what he wants is to publicly execute you in front of a crowd of his adoring fans, you guess that's how it has to be. You surrender completely as Marvus directs the stagehands to help him erect some sort of makeshift crucifix. You don't struggle as he carries you over and ties you up, suspended above the crowd. All the spotlights shine on you, burning hot. The audience's rapturous screams deafen you. But all you can see is Marvus, approaching you ringed in otherworldly light. His back is to the crowd, so you are the only one who can see his face like this. Intense, focused, merciless. A gaze meant only for you. You've never felt more special. He steps up before you, face to face. You stare into his eyes, enthralled. Such clear eyes, so potent and beautiful. Your only regret is that you can't gaze into them for longer. Marvus takes hold of his cane and in a fluid motion draws out its rapier's sharp hidden blade. The metal glints 1,000 colors in the lights of the stage, almost as awesome as he is. You hope he strikes true. Yours will be a magnificent death. That's very troubling thought patterns. But then, he winks. A fleeting moment of understanding passes between you. Could it be that Marvus is the friend you've been searching for after all? Oh, is it a fool's flight of fancy to dream so? He draws in close, rearing up as if to strike. And as he raises his blade, his jacket lifts up too, exposing his vulnerable clown pit. If you leaned in just now, maybe, just maybe, you could... Welcome, Luna. During the, just Odd and Sneakcat, during the break, I informed the Optimistic Duelist Discord server that I was reaching this part because I thought that folks might be interested in, watching the chaos. So, welcome, Luna. Welcome to the shit show. So, Odd and Sneakcat. This choice This choice does not actually change the outcome. The only difference is that respect yourself just continues with the story, but take a whiff gives you an extra little chunk of dialogue before the story continues. Should we even attempt at this point? Well, the answer is no, because if we click take a whiff, then we get more dialogue. So, that's right, Luna. We know exactly what we have to do. Take a whiff. I am so not looking forward to reading this. Whew. God fucking damn it. Okay. And the thing is, the worst part is it only gets worse from here, quite frankly. Okay. You can't help yourself. You lean right into the clown's swampy armpit and breathe in deep. The scent is like nothing you've ever smelled before. It's like the thick flavor of ambrosia glazed over an ogre's musk. Wet teriyaki socks sprinkled with a seasoning of pure passion. Wet teriyaki socks? That is so oddly specific. What the fuck? Powerful, indomitable, and beyond intoxicating. You can't get enough. You sniff, and then you snuff, sucking as much of the hot, salty odor into your nostrils as possible. So delicious. Oh my god. Why is all the nasty shit in this fruit? Oh, y'all think this is nasty. I'll give content warnings when shit gets weirder, but like, it gets weirder. The fresh bouquet of exertion brought about by hard, relentless work, freely flowing as the manifestation of his raw talent. You could spend the rest of your life nestled into this jester's fragrant pit, which might be literally what happens. You hope he allows you the indulgence. Were you so bold, you might even take a hearty lick. Oh my god. Clowns exist to make the reader uncomfortable. That is also true. Were you so bold, you might even take a hearty lick. Oh, how could it possibly taste if the smell alone is so wonderful? Would that you could suckle even a single drop of that sweet jester's hunky tang. Oh my god. You imagine some poor Let's Player having to read every delectable sentence of these odoriferous paragraphs aloud and get a little hot and bothered. Fuck you, anonymous author of this route. We'll get into the theories about who the anonymous author is after, but fuck. God damn it, you piece of shit. That was so uncomfortable, and it only gets more uncomfortable. Oh, God. But you aren't quite that brave, and thank fuck for that. Marvus brings down the blade, and this is when, if you click respect yourself, it just takes you directly to this piece of dialogue. Marvus brings down the blade. It sinks deep into the wood beside your neck. This was no accident. A jester so powerful surely would not miss. He's sparing your life. You're so humbled that, yeah, here's where it gets content warning for unsanitary stuff. Good God. You're so humbled that your bladder evacuates on the spot. Your urine is hot on your legs as Marvus's gaze is on your face. You really wish that you'd thought to bring your concert diaper. Like I said, it just doesn't fucking stop being brought up. Marvus gives you a look, and then glances pointedly to his cane sword. You take the hint and make an exaggerated reaction like you've just been stabbed for real. You grab at your neck, sputtering, flailing. The Highbloods right at the front can tell you haven't really been stabbed, and they're a little disappointed, but it's not as clear to the trolls further back. Somewhere around the mass of Tealbloods, the illusion really hits home. They start going fucking bonkers back there. The apeshit wave travels back to the Burgundies and then ricochets back home to the Highbloods. You crack one eye open as you play dead. This time, it's nothing like the controlled moshing during the performance. This is pure anarchy, a whirlwind of death and brutality. The trolls are at each other's throats, literally ripping each other apart with fang and claw. All the blood spraying in the air makes the humidity really skyrocket. At some point when the racket becomes less than melodic, the clowns all come out for a final encore to drown out the sounds of the screaming. They start wrapping up a real storm. After about 45 seconds, a full 2/3 of the crowd are completely dead on the ground. The performance finally ends once every single troll in the crowd has collapsed, either from death or exhaustion. Only once the audience has worn itself out do the clowns call it quits. Which is why Fozzer in his route makes reference to, there's a clown concert next door, they're gonna be needing a coal pit soon. They all start filing backstage, but for Marvus, who stops to take you down from the cross. Your beloved clown cradles you in his arms like the Pieta, gently petting your blood-spattered face. You hanging in there, fam? You tell him yes while continuing to play dead. You don't want to foil his ruse. Okay, gravy. Gravy. I guess that means good. He picks you back up and carries you off the stage. The clowns have a little green room set up in the backstage venue where they're all mixing and relaxing after the show. Nobody seems concerned to see Marvus carrying in a 90% dead alien, or particularly rattled after witnessing thousands of trolls savagely cannibalize each other either. Hey, you want a standee? A what? A sando. You're sorry? Grub bread. Sandy is Santa. I had no fucking idea what that was supposed to mean until I read somewhere else that it's like he's using it as a weird shorthand for sandwich. You say, yeah, sure, you're pretty hungry. Marvus drops you off on a couch and you lounge indulgently as you wait for him to walk up to the catering table and pick you something up. He's back quickly. Think you can move your arms or nothing, buddy? I'm sorry, my Marvus voice is all over the place, but it's all I can do just to read his fucking lines, honestly. You say, not really? You're pretty sure all of your bones are basically obliterated. Oh, that's rough. Sorry, man. Guess that's my fault. Lol. Okay, say ah. Okay, here's where it gets weirdly fucking kinky again. And very descriptive. You have been warned. You don't even question it. You obey him unthinkingly. You nearly choke when he kneels beside you and starts pressing broken off pieces of grub sandwich past your trembling lips. Tears well up at the corners of your eyes. How could someone like you be so lucky to touch and be held by by the closest thing on this mortal plane to a god? You're sure there are thousands, millions of trolls out there who would die to get to experience anything like this. It's humbling. What did you do to deserve this? You're so weak from the concert that even moving your jaw is hard, and your star-stricken sobbing doesn't help either. Whenever a sloppy bit of grub paste filling dribbles down your chin, Marvus is right there to catch it and shove it back into your eager maw. He makes unyielding eye contact with you as he allows you to suck the meggy meal from his fingers. You tell him he's beautiful. A lot of people say that. I don't know about all that, though. I'm just a humble rhyme juggler with a lot of cash money and 10 guys filming what I'm doing right now. Every fucking terrible gross kink. Yup. When you're finished eating your sandwich, Marvus kindly wipes all the mess off your face. He's so gracious, you can't believe it. Scared for what else? Y'all have not even seen the other ending yet. Just, yeah, there's some more. You're so glad that camera crew is here to capture all of this so you can watch it and relive the experience of receiving his kindness again later. You guess you need an answer to the question. Why did Marvus decide to save you? Marvus takes a moment to think on it. Haha, well, I guess I saw the guy you was with. And I was like, shit, what a sorry motherfucker. You know that buddy be bad news, fam, lol. What, Zebra? No way. Zebra's your friend. All of your friends are cool. Damn, that's raw. You okay? You sick? You really friends with that in ding dong? It's my favorite line from the whole fucking thing. Because of the word in ding dong. Seriously? The writer is fair to be anonymous for this route. Yeah. It's more batshit than this ending. Oh yeah, I definitely agree. You know he blacklisted all the fucking way out in Clowntown. How did I know that the moment that chat caught up to when Marvus says in ding dong that there was definitely going to be at least one person who put it in chat. It's so fucking good. I love it. What? Really? Why? He's just a social climber, man. That big blue buddy be a motherfucking parasite. And he's blacklisted by all the clowns? He doesn't seem to know that. Well, we ain't about to go and tell him, we ain't about to go and tell his chatty ass. Gonna go and write a wicked nasty review about my business. So we be looking out for ourselves. Us clowns real close-knit, you know? Take care of each other and that shiz. You feel me? If I think about it, clowns really are the most disprivileged socioeconomic class. No. You have thought about that, and it's making more and more sense recently. You'd love to engage in nuanced discourse with him about clown privilege or lack thereof. Yeah, because though we nominally occupy a position of structural power in the institutional hierarchy of the hemispectrum, we be subjugated into dampening our powers like no other. Because the agents of the Empress and her abyssal hierarchy know that I'm sorry, I'm really struggling to give this a good flow when I'm reading his typing work. Because the agents of the Empress and her abysmal hierarchy know that the unimpeded strength of me and my sick, nasty buddies would easily unseat Sea Dwellers as the dominant caste. And if Purple Blood be objectively superior to Violet in every metric of strength, power, and influence, despite chromatically preceding them, the only reason we don't rise up and rip the fins off their slimy little faces is an eternities of religious persecution and culturally immutable precedent. What does that say about the validity of the rest of the system? And there's the actual good political comment. You're still wrong in saying that clowns and Purple Bloods are the most oppressed group in all of Alternia. But that's the kicker. What does that say about the validity of the rest of the system? You consider your mind thoroughly blown. Wow, this guy is incredibly woke and not the least bit racist at all. You're really inspired by how good he is as both an artist and a man. Yeah, so he actually does have a point in the end, but he's still very wrong in saying that clowns and Purple Bloods are the most oppressed group in all of Alternia. The way that he says that, it almost feels like we're the most powerful. We should be in charge, not the fucking Sea Dwellers. Like, echoing a little bit of that, tension that we hear about between Purples and Violets in Homestuck. Sorry, I just woke Clowns URL. But yeah, it's so, but like the general concept that leads back to what does that say about the rest of the system, I think is kind of like, the general just kicker, aside from other parts that might be a little questionable, such as saying that he is a part of the most oppressed group. Ugh. Dan straight. Maybe all this spectrum needs a little chaos to shake things up. Really makes you fucking think, you hear me? God, you do hear him. It makes so much sense. He makes so much sense. You make so much sense. Together. Marvus smiles at you as you hold his hands. You don't want to let go. You're afraid you'll never see him again if you do. You're not sure you can live like that. Maybe you can't always be by his side, but maybe sometimes, occasionally. All you want is to make a friend. OFC, I'll be your buddy. Here, why don't you have me on Chitter? And next time I got the show, maybe I'll hook you up with some wicked tickets. VI fucking PB. Rust Emperors represent. Make sure to check out my link in the bio for merch if you're interested. The promise fills you with so much hope and light and joy. You can't believe it. You did it. You've made the greatest, most ultimate friend of them all. Your shining light. Your reason for being. Marvus, the truest buddy you've ever had. True buds. We love a self-promoter, I know, right? Oh, wow. So that's the good ending. And again, saving commentary to the end. Actually, what the fuck am I doing? I can load from a save point. So, the only thing that's left is the bad end. Yeah, if that's the good end, then oh no indeed, Odd. Oh no indeed. You're fucked up now? Oh, just fucking wait. Go along with Zebra's cowardly and nefarious plan to scam your beloved clown. Enraptured you may be with Marvus's magnificence. A promise is a promise, and you can't let Zebra down. You wait for the right moment and start to vault up over the barricade as quickly as you can manage. You clear the barrier and drop down into the gutter between the stage and the crowd. You're not sure where to go from here. You glance back towards Zebra for guidance, and the crowd has noticed what you're doing, all right. The onlookers are swarming with rage at your insolence. Zebra makes his move. He starts to follow you up over the barricade, but things don't go as planned. Instead of heroically stopping you from making it to Marvus, Zebra is put upon from all sides by grasping claws. They don't recognize what Zebra is trying to do. They think he's just another conspirator trying to join you in your attempt at Marvus's life. You watch in stunned horror as the two trolls closest to Zebra take hold of each of his arms, dig in their claws, and rip them right off. And they don't stop there. You barely have time to process what's happening until another pair of trolls descend, helping to tear ruthlessly into Zebra's body. His screams don't even register over the booming of the sound system. Fountains of indigo blood spray hot into the humid air. The barricade and the ground all around are drenched in your friend's gore. You're frozen where you stand in that arid gutter between heaven and hell. This isn't how it was supposed to go, is it? You feel the inevitable press of entropy closing in. The trolls in the audience see you, and they've already had a taste of blood. Your legs are as stiff as rods, and the carnage-caked trolls who make short work of your friend begin to vault over the barricade themselves. It seems pointless to run. You're stricken by a consuming sense of déjà vu. You've made a mistake, and the universe is going to clean up your mess. Referring to the universe cleaning up the mess. Very meta, he can feel it that this is the bad timeline. The trolls drop down into the gutter with you in advance. You close your eyes, accept your fate. You close your eyes and accept your fate. And then you feel yourself being wrenched up onto the stage. Yo, what's up? You can't believe your eyes. Marvus, in all his majesty, has hoisted you up to safety on the grand stage. He's beaming at you with the most beautiful smile you've ever seen in your whole life. This development has certainly given the bloodthirsty crowd a pause. Marvus turns to them with an unerring grin and shakes his head. Y'all out there trying to kill my buddy? Yes. Sometimes I swear my fans are bigger clowns than I am. Lol. His adoring legion seems to find that very funny. You're starting to realize you really should have brought your concert diaper after all. Just as a warning that the concert diaper becomes a thing again, and it's another content warning for unsanitary. Now, it seems like there's been a big misunderstanding. This This just be one of my backup dancers. Hey, hit it, cause we show 'em what you got. Hey, hit it, cause show 'em what you got. There we go, that makes sense. He's helping you? You can't say you understand, but you're not about to look a sexy, gorgeous gift clown in the mouth. If Marvus wants you to dance for your life, you'll dance. You start going to town. Flossing, shooting, whatever it is the kids are doing these days. A real contemporary breakdown. The crowd goes wild. Things are really starting to look up for you until a deafening crack sounds through the air and the stage equipment starts to collapse. It all happens quickly. The bolts of all the stage scaffolding burst out of their settings. The lights catch fire, and one of the massive 100-foot screens behind the stage comes loose of its moorings. You'd have been easily pancaked by the screen if not for Marvus expertly clown-stepping you and himself out of the way. Clown-stepping. An evolution of flash-stepping. Yes, I know, right? Flossing, fucking seriously. Oh my god, I actually have a specific story about flossing. Because, okay, as y'all have been around a while know, I worked as a summer camp counselor this past summer. And so the age of our counselors varies. They're mostly, like, early to mid-20s. We do have one counselor though who just turned 30 and who was just reveling in like being, the old guy, so to speak. Oh my god. Bless him, I fucking love him. He's a wonderful, wonderful camp counselor and a wonderful person. But he didn't know what flossing was. So his goal for by the end of camp was that he wanted to learn how to floss properly because he couldn't, and it looked so mechanical and awful because the campers taught him. And like I'm pretty sure it was like the first week. And his goal for the whole 3 weeks of camp was to try and learn how to floss. And it was a sight to fucking behold. He did actually get pretty good at it by the end. Woo, that's blood. Half of the crowd isn't so lucky. The big screen shatters when it hits the stage, raining a 100-foot area of trolls with vicious glass. Shiz. Right when things were just getting started. But the sound equipment was all obliterated by the sudden collapse. Nobody can hear him but you. For a moment, your hero looks lost. Yeah, good goals to have, I know, right? It was quite the sight. Man, we better bounce, cuz. Okay. Specific warning for right now. This is shortly after this, it does once again get very unsanitary. Marvus grabs you by your sweaty hand and runs. He takes you to safety into the performer's green room, which seems to be intact after the collapse of the stage, though the power's out. The room is filled with clowns who've performed earlier. They all look very confused and harried. Shit. Things gonna be a madhouse out there for a while, so better to just stay low for a little bit, I bet. We go out there right now, we gonna get mobbed. Usually everybody be dead at the end of my concerts. I wouldn't make it out of here. I wouldn't make it out of there without having to pale with 1,000 teens otherwise. Ooh, yikes. You're a little rattled, to say the least. Marvus takes a good look at you. Fuck, man. You shiz yourself? Oh my god, I can't believe I'm actually reading this out loud. You start to cry. You didn't bring your concert diaper. I am fairly certain this is the last time this god-awful concept is mentioned. Oh man, it's aight, don't cry. Look, you're hardly the first buddy to ever shiz theyselves at one of my concerts. I'm used to the smell. TBH is comforting. That's, Oh, big yikes. Yeah. You sniffle and say, really? You wouldn't want to bring even the slightest inconvenience to his wonderful life. Yeah, I'll let it cook. Bring it in, Brohim? Brohime? Bring it in, Brohim. Oh, God, this is fucking disgusting. Yeah! Oh, my God. At author, I just want to talk. Turn on your location. I just want to talk. You bring it in. The two of you share a nice, malodorous hug. It's hard for you to understand what's going on. Why did Marvus save you anyway? I saw you was hanging out with that blue bro who's always trying to get his snuff shoot up me and me jug's shiz holes. And then you trying to make a real run for me. Gotta say, that's brave. Gotta ask a buddy where they got the bulge rods to try to pull a stunt like that. Respect. Oh, well, it really wasn't really much of a stunt. You were just going along with your friend's ludicrous plan to try to scam him into a friendship under false pretenses. But it was a really bad plan, and your friend was killed on the spot immediately, and now you're pretty sure you're cosmically fated to die due to making a non-canonical decision. That is very specifically metatextual speech right there, and it just keeps going. Brace yourselves, folks. Shit is about to get very real. What you mean non-canon? I'll just be non-canon, fam. Marvus is mirroring the language back. Pardon the fuck? What can it even mean to be non-canonical within the context of an inherently extra-canonical framework? Skis. I literally can't fucking read that. Oh my god. He says an intelligent thing like that and then infuses the sentence with skeet skeet brap. Oh. I mean, he's got a point, though. Like, he's basically, what does it mean to be non-canonical within the context of an inherently extra-canonical framework? What does it mean for something to be non-canonical when it does not exist within the canon of Hiveswap itself? These are technically non-canonical roots. You're not sure, but you definitely have the sense that some of the decisions within the simulation carry greater values of truth and relevance than others, and that the linear progression of events is rigorously enforced by an obligate narrative flow that privileges those actions which most smoothly facilitate the designs of the story's architect. So, MSPA Reader is just, like, directly plugged into this shit now. Like, we are past the point of just accidentally saying, I usually would be dead by now, or referencing to having nightmares sometimes of the bad endings. Like, straight up reality is breaking down. You know, he's like, yeah, the designs of the story's architect. He's like, I'm not real. You're not real. This is a simulation. Ah! Sure, you can hear that noise that way. But I say you the architect of your own fate. Inspiring a sermon as Marvus may be spitting, his wise pontifications are interrupted when a clown in the back of the green room knocks over the water cooler. This gets the other clown who was talking to him really pissed, and they start duking it out. It starts a chain reaction that pulls all the other high bloods into a whirling blade picture of clown carnage. Man, what the fuck is going on? It's like you said, you've made a mistake, and the essence of the timeline won't rest until it's put things right. You can feel that it's happened before, and it'll happen again. Feeling the timeline breaking down at a bad end. Really is the monkey's fist. It fucking is. Shit, I totally forgot to bring up that tweet at the beginning of the stream. But, like, really, really well and truly. Yep. Well, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Come on, troll Nostradamus, let's skeet scoot. Skeet scoot. Even as the inescapability of your demise consumes you, you can't bring yourself to deny him. You follow him out of the green room, fleeing before the clown fight can pull you in and grind you to bits. So, just as a prior point of reference, the stage falling apart was the first sign of this world breaking down around them, so to speak. That was kind of the smoking gun that point forward, all going to shit. Out here, you're the only one who has to help Marvus. In the open air, it's an unending procession of teens' quick time events. Some of them are carrying buckets. You just need to keep punching them out until you finally make it to his rich guy clown limo, which is an edit of Marvus's. You'll notice that, you know, it's changed up to be a little more Juggalo Marvus themed. There's a couple of Soport pies in there. Bottles of Faygo, some juggling clubs, honking horns, quick time events. Can someone please explain what the fuck that means? Because I know it's a video game thing, but I don't play those kinds of games. Or maybe I do, and I just don't know that's what the events are called. The driver's nowhere to be seen, so Marvus gets behind the wheel and you hightail it out of there. You stick your head out the window and look back. There's a nasty storm brewing in the distance. I know somewhere we'll be safe. You make sure to secure your seatbelt. After dodging at least 3 fallen trees, a wayward deer lusus, and a lightning strike that blasts the hood of the vehicle right off, Marvus brings you to Clown Church. Oh! Yes, now I'm picturing it. Right. Yeah, like Telltale games, or I'm picturing, like, the only game I've actually, like, watched gameplay of with that kind of playthrough is actually Heavy Rain. No, I think Yakuza as well. Those are both games that my dad has played. I'm not generally into, as you probably know, because I just had to ask what a fucking QuickTime event is. I don't generally play within that genre. I don't do a lot of video games, but I do some. Clown Church indeed. Here we go. You can't say this place was high on your list of venues you wanted to visit again, but this thing has a fucking budget. Again, referencing so meta that it's not even just referencing the fact that it's a story, it's referencing the fact that it's constructed, that it has a specific author, that it has a fucking budget. Like, this is just, like, completely out of... What the fuck are they gonna do in the next volume after this? Okay. Yakuza does it, but better. Okay. I don't doubt that. Whatever bullshit power that's coming after you will have no reach here. This be hallowed grounds, biznatch. Marvus leaves the limo on the lawn of the church and you both hurry out. Just in time, because it explodes not 2 seconds after you're out the door. By instinct, Marvus shields you from the fiery blast with his body. Oh no! Marvus, no, you beautiful soul! You're destroyed by guilt. How could someone so tremendous bring themselves to such harm for someone so meaningless as you? You drag Marvus's burned, scorched body into Clown Church and collapse as soon as you're past the threshold. You start weeping. Shiz, fam, I ain't dead, just a little toasty. You ain't gotta cry, but goddamn. Oh, okay. You help him up and bolt the door behind you. He was right. You do feel safe here. Nothing is collapsing. Nobody is being stricken with a hysterical urge to start a fight. And there's not even a single fire happening anywhere. The mirthful messiahs be protecting us, buddy. Stay frosty, eh? You help Marvus over to sit down in one of the pews. You settle in next to him and gaze up at the imposing architecture. It's not all so bad. There's a beauty there. A beauty in being a clown, too, you're starting to see. Maybe you're even starting to believe? You turn to look at Marvus and his face is ashen and slick with sweat. Think that dip in the grill I had hurt a bit more than I thought. Your heart drops in your chest. You ask if he's going to be all right. As long as we stay here, we aight. But can you really stay inside the Clown Church forever? You know down to your bones that even if you do, it doesn't matter. It's something about the air. you can't really describe it. Everything just starts to press down, 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 like you and everything around you is sinking implacably into the earth. But the ground is coming up to meet you, too. And you start to perspire. The pressure leaves you weak. You slump against Marvus's shoulder. You feel so insubstantial, like the entire concept of your existence is struggling to erase itself. You know this isn't something you can fight. What are you just giving up like? What, are you giving up just like that? You don't know what else you can do. This isn't how things were supposed to go. This isn't how things can be. You can't exist like this. That depends on what it means to exist, fam. Depending on how you look at it, every branch in the timeline be fundamental to the metatextual structure of the essence of existence itself. Y'all, he's going off. So he's saying, okay, I think he elaborates. Even an incident that falls outside of the strict confines of canonical continuity contributes to a meta-consciousness that be built by, and could even be said to be, its most essential level, defined primarily by the extra-textual exchange of interpretation by those who observe it. Woo! Okay, let's break that down. So basically, what he's saying is, every timeline contributes to the metatextual structure of the character and contributes to that metatextual definition, not just by virtue of existence, but especially by virtue of the exchange of interpretation by those who observe it, which would be us talking about it right now. So, because, that's, even though these roots are, technically extra canonical, so to speak, technically not fully having happened in the Hiveswap canonical universe, these roots will, obviously, they'll still inform our opinions of the characters when we see them in Act 2, right? And I think that's the point that he's making here, is he's trying to be like, it's not, this isn't pointless. This isn't just filler. Every timeline counts. Every interpretation counts. As a writer, you highly respect it, but as a reader, you want to scream. That's fair. Yeah. Each path a translucent fragment that via mirroring or distorting or magnifying certain aspects of the ultimate reality folds itself invisibly into the fabric of that reality. So now he's elaborating on that by the ultimate reality is basically, like, he's building off of that concept that was introduced very, very, very late in Homestuck of, oh my god, why can't I remember the actual fucking term? God damn it, Dave Petta. Like, the ultimate self? If someone remembers the actual term, I would appreciate, if you toss that into chat. But you still heavily respect, because holy shit. Yeah, so, yeah, now he's tossing in talking about the concept of the ultimate reality or the ultimate self being not just made up of these canonical roots, so to speak, or extra canonical roots and Dune timelines and all of that, but also made up of ultimate self is correct. Thank you, Luna. But also made up of all of our interpretations of them as characters. That our opinions contribute to the complete view of them as a character, and dare I say, as a person, so to speak. Itself immeasurable and intangible, but the space it once occupied indelible. The observation of reality can still inform how reality is to be interpreted if that reality doesn't satisfy even a cursory standard of legitimacy. Even if that reality doesn't satisfy a cursory standard of legitimacy. So, again, reinforcing that even timelines that technically didn't happen, even content that technically isn't canon, can inform the canon and inform kind of the kind of reality and the full picture of the character. And the act of contravening continuity can itself provide a definition to that very integrity it defiles. Even if what's going down here can't be said to be true, that doesn't mean we are meaningless. I'm totally losing my Marvus voice here, but like, y'all, it's after 2 a.m. Oh shit. But yeah, basically his whole thing is, this may be a doomed timeline, but don't get down on yourself because it isn't just meaningless. It's informing a larger reality. Turn up. Oh my god, of course. Oh my god, I forgot that he did that. He gives this whole long, intricate speech about how the way that the complete view of a character is created, and then says, turn up. Oh my god. You don't know about all that, but you tell Marvus you're glad he's here with you. Marvus smiles and puts his arm around your shoulders. In spite of it all, he makes you feel real. You stare into the effervescing panes of clown glass as they shift and scintillate in your vision. Things are coming apart at the seams, subatomic concepts screaming from the insides of your ears, and the infinity of pure dimension blossoms between the tenuous threads holding the essence of your being together. The terminality of paradox space reaches into you from the inside out and takes a hold of reality in its inescapable grasp. Continuity inverts and cascades into a cataclysmic fractal. What happens will happen, and what can't must not, and no measure of reprieve from man or god or clown can stymie the cosmic imposition of truth. You close your eyes for just a moment, but when you open them again, there's nothing to see at all. Time paradox. Also, you may have noticed the visual similarities between that ending with Marvus and the way reality shook when Boulder died. And that is not a coincidence. And that, my friends, is the end of volume 16. It was still nice. I mean, yeah, it was still... once you get past all of the incredibly uncomfortable fetish stuff back at the concert, that was incredible. Fucking incredible. You hadn't... Oh, shit. I'm so sorry, Odd. I know. They're long fucking videos. I understand. Not having gotten to it yet. But, you know that reality shakes when Boulder dies, but there's a whole bunch of other little tidbits in that route that add to this, all of this stuff that you have not seen yet. And you still don't know how Boulder dies. So, kinda spoily, but also not super spoily, because a decent number of routes end in the troll dying. They had to put all the weird fish shit because they knew they could, because everyone was gonna play this volume. Yeah, no, you know what? That's fair. That's probably, I mean, because they already knew from fandom reaction that not everyone, okay, but there was a large chunk of fandom that was very devoted to Marvus Sexy. And in terms of the writing as well, they also knew what fandom's expectations were of Marvus as a character and subverted them like fuck. Yet at the same time giving us exactly what we would expect. Like, oh my god. Okay. Taking a quick peek at the credits, as we always do. Hussey, of course. Same producers. Writers. Okay. So, as you can see, Geezy, aka Aisha Ufera's dad, wrote Fozzer, which I had mentioned before. Monkey's Paw. True. And then down at the bottom here, V. Marvus. And I'll explain a little something about a theory that is circulating and relatively popular about who V is. So V, I was not aware of this, but apparently V is the name of one of the members of BTS, the K-pop group, which just happens to be one of the very, very few things that we know about Hussey at the moment, is that he went to a BTS concert and he's very into it. So people are suspecting that this route was written by Hussey because of that, and also because the style of it and just the... Marvus went so quickly, but it actually took like 2 hours. Yeah, Marvus was big. Big route. Let me just find... Shit. Yes, there it is. So I was just looking up a direct quote. A Discord user in Optimistic Duelist Discord gave the best fucking quote to describe this route and said, "Who else but Hussey can write the worst possible brilliant stuff you've ever read?" And that's just it. The worst possible brilliant stuff you've ever read. Like, that couldn't possibly say it better than that. The route felt like a BTS concert. Used to be into it, and it felt exactly like that spin on it, with plus the juggle of rap culture. Okay, yeah, I've heard that said in a couple other places too, that it felt like the frenetic energy of a BTS concert. So yeah, so people are suspecting that Hussey wrote this one because, oh god. Actually, before moving along, I need to find a post by Trace Excalibur, David Turnbull, who, of course, has done coding and that sort of thing. Here, let me just quickly... We're going to switch back to Google Chrome. Okay. What did it feel like to sit back and watch the fandom interpret Marvus as a sophisticated ringleader when in reality he talks and acts like he drinks Mountain Dew for breakfast? So, here's the thing. I only really got to enjoy that Schadenfreude for a couple of weeks because I also thought he was the former. Who's ready for me to pull a James and give y'all some fun behind the scenes info? Because that's true. It is often James Roach who's giving us those peeks. So picture this. I'm pretty much finished Tigiri's route, and I've made it clear that I want to do some more writing if I can. And the Wet Pumpkin crew are like, okay, cool. Here's some other trolls we'd like you to work on. And I'm like, one of these trolls is Marvus. And they're like, yeah, one of these trolls is Marvus. And externally, I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do it. And internally, I'm freaking out because how in the world am I ever going to do a clown justice? So I load up all the top secret sweet deets I've got on him and do my readings, and basically not a whole lot is different from what you saw in his route. But as far as I can see, he doesn't really have an assigned quirk or anything. He's just some generic charming ringmaster dude. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get in the clown zone. And I hash out like about 300 words of him being a sexy, creepy douche, some of which I've replicated below for your viewing pleasure. You point to yourself. You? Adorable? Really? Why, yes, of course. He reaches out and taps a claw under your chin, pulling your head up to look at him. You have just the most charming look in your eyes. I don't know quite how I would describe it. Something like terror, confusion, helplessness. You're like a little animal quaking in your cage, and you don't know whether your owner is coming to feed you or kill you. Oh, but don't you worry, pet. When you die here, it won't be by my hands. You're far too fascinating for that. Now, to my credit, this is some top-tier clown fuckery, but I'm not really feeling it. It doesn't have that perfect homestuck clown vibe that it needs. He's just a regular clown, not a Huss clown. He's not Marvus. And luckily for me, I get a message soon after that, like, hey, actually, we've got someone else we want to do Marvus's route. Are you okay with switching to another troll? And externally, I'm like, aw, okay. But internally, I'm like, oh, fuck. Sweet relief. Someone else will take the fall. So that's like around Volume 10's release or so. And I don't hear anything else about Marvus's route for a long time. And this entire time, I'm thinking he's got to be at least somewhat close to my interpretation. Some sexy, swarthy, well-spoken, cool guy. Cut to Volume 15's release, and we all get sent the draft of Marvus's route to read over and comment on, and my eyeballs fucking explode out of my face. I'm scrolling through this going, LMFAO, they're really gonna make these poor saps put up with 3,000 words of zebra nonsense. And then I hit Marvus's first line and just lose my entire shit, and don't stop losing my entire shit for the rest of the route. It was perfect. Utterly perfect. This is what Marvus was missing, I think. This is that homestuck level of bullfuckery that he needed to truly elevate him to greatness. Just totally fucking awful clownery mixed in with a weirdly compelling character and enough lore that you can't just pretend he doesn't exist. And all that wrapped up in an absolutely god-awful route that really makes you suffer for your clown. So fans, rest assured that nobody, not even I, was spared trolling by the great and terrible rhyme juggler Marvus. BTS is very on topic right now. Indeed it is. Yeah, so that's that. Yup. So that's Trace's little backstory, which I really appreciated. We see character for this one is Kim Quash, who's in Volume 16 art. And backgrounds were by CJ Walker, as well as ending illustrations. And CJ Walker is a new artist and did a pretty cool darn job. You don't know how to feel? Yeah. There's a lot of feelings happening. So this fucking kills me every time. This goddamn assy face of Bowsette. So Fozzer's theme, Graveyard Shift. Play the route and then tweet at Hamzatron about how good this title is. Graveyard Shift because there's the shift that happens halfway through the story. Yes, James, it's a good title. And down at the bottom, James Roach and Toby Fox, Marvus's theme, Clown Fucker. So, where is it up here? So, David Turnbull has done UI design for all volumes, but he hasn't done the game design programming side of things since Volume 10. It's been a while. Yes, Mint Chip Leaf. Again, with that and then Sandra Crawford. And that is... That is the volume. That is Volume 16 in its entirety. I don't even know what the fuck else I can add. Yeah. That sure is some shit. What was there? There was one thing that I was looking for. It was in, whose fucking blog was it? Oh, yes, that's right. It was one last thing. Where is it? It's a SoundCloud. There it is. Okay. So to finish off the stream, I'm not going to be playing this in its entirety or anything like that. But this is a SoundCloud recording of... I just realized I have been pasting all of these links into my Word document, but none of them into chat. That was very rude of me. I will post all of the links in the Discord channel after. This is... Gonna read a bunch of fanfics. Oh, I missed a whole bunch of things in chat. Clown fucker. Mm-hmm. You suffered for a clown, but you're glad you did. Yeah, that sure was a lot. Oh, you're gonna find some interesting shit in those fics, Sneak Cat. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is DJ Geezy featuring Aisha remix. This is Aisha Yufera and her dad Geezy answering questions about Homestuck and Hiveswap. And it's 20 minutes, 21. It's a good listen. It's an interesting listen. I'd highly recommend giving their opinions a little gander. Yeah. As well, load. Latest episode of Perfectly Generic Podcast. They start off by talking about Fozzer and Marvus, and they have a lot more interesting commentary on how dialectic materialism fits into Marvus's root. So if you Marvus Fozzer's root. So I'd really recommend listening to this if you are interested in getting that little bit more out of Fozzer. And I think it's really worth investing in because the poor guy got totally fucking drowned out by Marvus hype. He really has not received even half as much of the content as Marvus. The whole focus has been on Marvus. Yeah, I think that's all I can add at this point. This has been definitely... I mean, I think we had another one that ran up to 3 hours, but I'm fairly certain that this is, like, bar none, the longest stream I have ever done. So, thank you all so much for just sticking this out with me. I hope that you've had a good time. It has certainly been quite the fucking journey. Minor technical difficulties during Fozzer's route, but thankfully my internet decided not to fuck around with me after that. Fozzer, please tell me more about the ghost timelines. Yeah, there's some interesting... I've seen a couple of interesting theories out there. Like, I know one person on a Discord server who is very adamant that Fozzer is a ghost and is trapped in the void and that you visit him on the edge of the void, which is a very interesting theory. But there's also, the kind of hinting that it's related to Scratch elements and the way that Scratch resets timelines and changes personalities in that sense. Yeah, so there's a couple other, things out there. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that we can get from Fozzer. I think you should get a little more attention. Yeah, I'm glad you were here for this one too, Odd. And Sneak Cat and Luna and Aleph who left earlier, and any anonymous folks watching from home. I hope that you've all had a wonderful, fun time moving through this fucking stupendous journey. Yeah. I have class tomorrow. My alarm is going off in like 5 hours. That's actually not that bad. But I really need to skedaddle. And I know that I'm not the only one. Odd. Because you got your fucking math test tomorrow. I saw that, and I was going to say something, and then I forgot. And I was like, oh no. So here's me saying, oh no. YouTube video for this, for the folks who were around for Fozzer and kind of missed the beginning part. I mean, Fozzer's root does have a bit of repetition in it, so you didn't miss much. But, yeah, I have OBS still recording video right now, so it should be pretty easy for me to have this on YouTube very shortly with all of the links that I mentioned in the description. So if you're interested in any of the links specifically, they're all going to be listed down there. Oh my god, you have a test at 70. Good luck. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Oh my goodness, that is not very long from now. Yes, so I should be able to get that chopped up and tossed up in no short order, because there's not much for me to edit out or anything like that. I just gotta chop the breaks. There's no translations. Yeah. Although I did just realize that my fucking bookmarks bar has been showing this whole time, so I have to fucking go through and manually block that out, but that's fine. Whatever, fine. Okay, that's a wrap. This Friday, Paradox Space comics. We are starting to read the Paradox Space comics. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished. Kaput. Alright, once again, thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you've had as much fun hanging along, reading along as I have had reading aloud. Fingers crossed I will be seeing you all on Friday for Paradox Space. Have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be getting up to. Good luck on that test, Odd, and good night.